Chapter 131, An Accident or Not. Support the translator by reading Hidden Marriage on Volari Novels. Ning Xueluo immediately switched to a bashful expression upon seeing Su Yan. It was because of you tiring me out. You were clearly the one seducing me. Su Yan had a helpless expression. Following that, he held up the plastic bags he was carrying. I bought chicken porridge for you so that you can regain your strength. Don't keep saying that you're tired now. You're so annoying. The next scene followed closely after the previous one. It was a battle in the bamboo forest. Upon seeing that Meng Chang'e had already gone crazy and wouldn't listen to reason, after a moment of hesitation, Shang Guanyingrong was prepared to kill her to avoid trouble later on. After the martial arts instructor taught them for more than 2 hours, the two of them were almost done learning the moves. The director had been prepared to find stunt doubles for them at first, but since Ning Xi was rather good at martial arts and had even been a stunt double before, she definitely didn't need one. Ning Xueluo had then indicated that she wanted to try the scene herself. Guo Qixin naturally wanted the best effect for the movie, so he had agreed. The professional stunt master helped to set them up in their rigs. After checking a few times and confirming that everything was set up properly, filming started. Meng Chang'e is already dead. Shang Guanyingrong shut her eyes and spoke with heartache and regret. The person standing in front of her was just a beautiful and dangerous shell, a weapon that was going to destroy this kingdom. In the next second, murderous intent surged up in Shang Guanyingrong's eyes. At the same time, she drew the sword at her waist and charged towards Meng Chang'e. As if she had already predicted Shang Guanyingrong's actions, Meng Chang'e stood calmly on the spot. It wasn't until the sword was already inches away from her nose that she moved. Just by stretching out both arms and touching the ground with the tips of her toes, she flew backwards like a bird and avoided Shang Guanyingrong's attack. Shang Guanyingrong breathed out coldly and took up her sword again. Meng Chang'e took her time to dodge Shang Guanyingrong's attacks. It was like a cat toying with a mouse. Finally, she casually drew the sword she carried on the waist of her red dress and started to counterattack with fierce moves. After just 10 or so moves, Shang Guanyingrong was on the losing end. She was almost pushed off the bamboo branches a few times. Even though Shang Guanyingrong had some skill with the sword, she was like an infant before the mighty general who had slain entire armies, Meng Chang'e. Pub Future Ads. Shang Guanyingrong had overestimated herself. She had thought that Meng Chang'e's skills would have rusted away after concealing herself in the palace for so long. Who would have thought that she wasn't even a match for Meng Chang'e? However, it was already too late when she realized that she had underestimated her enemy. In the end, Meng Chang'e finally had enough of playing around. Her gaze turned chilly as her sword pierced straight towards Shang Guanyingrong's chest with the force of 10,000 soldiers. Shirk! It was the sound of a sharp blade entering a body. Shang Guanyingrong held onto her chest, pain written all over her face. Like a kite with a broken string, she tumbled from the sky above the sea of bamboo. Next. There was supposed to be a close-up featuring Meng Chang'e's expression. Guo Qixin was watching Ning Xi's performance with rapt attention, but found that there was something wrong with Ning Xi's expression. Ning Xueluo is hurt. Save her! Quickly! Still suspended in midair on wires, Ning Xi suddenly shouted. After everyone froze blankly for a moment, they realized that that wasn't a line and that Ning Xueluo was really hurt. The set turned into a frenzied mess as everyone surrounded Ning Xueluo. After being let down from the wire, Ning Xi hurriedly pressed down on the wound on Ning Xueluo's chest that was spewing blood. Quick, call the ambulance. Right after she finished speaking, she was suddenly pushed away with great force. Su Yan flew over, pale with fright. He carried Ning Xueluo in his arms tightly. Xueluo! Xueluo! What happened to you? Yan Gag. It hurts so much. Don't be scared, I'm here. You'll be fine. You'll definitely be all right. Chapter 132, These are her parents. Ning Xi. Hey, I was pressing properly on her wound, but you just pushed me away and now you're just watching her bleed out with an expression full of heartache. Are you crazy? Have you gotten addicted to acting out unnecessary drama? If it weren't for more urgent matters, Ning Xi would have scolded him with her hands on her hips. What happened? Guo Qixin hurried over with rage written on his face. Ning Xi pinched the bridge of her nose. I realized that it didn't feel right after I pierced her. The blade didn't retract. It was supposed to be a retractable sword. Once it met force, it should have retracted. She had not expected that an accident like this would happen. Guo Qixin flew into a rage. Where's the prop director? Come out now. I told you a million times to check everything properly. We can't afford any accidents happening. How did you do your work? The prop director stumbled and ran over, sweating hard. Director Guo, everything was fine when I checked it, there shouldn't be any problems. Guo Qixin slapped him with the script in his hands and roared, then tell me what happened just now. Problems had been occurring on set since the start, his patience was close to its limit. At this moment, Wang Taihe suddenly asked, who was the last one to touch this sword? It should be Ning Xi. I handed the sword over to her right after I finished inspecting it. She's been holding it all the time to practice. It's my fault, I should have checked it again before filming started. The prop director apologized continuously. Hearing this, Ning Xi's pupils contracted. She would have to be an idiot if she didn't realize what was happening by now. At this moment, everyone present had mixed expressions. Guo Qixin glared at the prop director before he looked at Ning Xi with a complicated gaze. Finally, while holding back his anger, we'll discuss this later. We have to send her to the hospital first. Lock down the whole set, don't let the news get out. In Beijing's First People's Hospital. While Ning Xueluo's wound was being treated, Su Yan was accompanying her inside. Ning Xi stood in the corridor outside the ward, her back against the cold hospital wall as the cogs turned in her brain. Ning Xueluo deserved to be called the ancestor of all innocent flowers. Even her pity ploys were at the next level. Wasn't Ning Xueluo afraid that she wouldn't stop in time and just stab her to death? Unfortunately, she had immediately stopped the moment she found that something was wrong with the sword, so the wound wasn't too deep. Ning Xueluo suffered a superficial wound at most. However, it was the consequences of this incident that were going to be troublesome. The most pressing matter was to find a way to prove her innocence. Ning Xi was still deep in thought when she heard a burst of hurried footsteps. She had just raised her head when a slap landed smack on her face. Following that, a burning ache came from her cheeks. Bastard! How could you do such a thing to Xueluo? If you have any complaints, then come at me. I was the one who kept her in the Ning family, I was the one who was willing to pamper her and love her. What has Xueluo done wrong? The newcomer shouted at her in hysteria, the look in her eyes was as if she were looking at her sworn enemy. Ning Xi wiped away the blood at the corner of her mouth before slowly raising her head. She watched the wealthy lady before her motionlessly. Dressed in a luxurious, noble, and refined manner, this was her mother. Behind Zhuang Lingye was her father, Ning Yehua. The same disgust shone in his eyes, if anything happens to Xueluo, I won't forgive you. Of the two people before her, one was her biological mother and the other was her biological father. From start to end, they never asked for the whole story. Instead, the moment they had come, they only had beatings and threats for her. Ning Xi had millions of lines she could say to make them froth at the mouth in anger. However, right now, it was as if she had been wrung dry of all her energy. She didn't feel like speaking. She only gazed at them with a sinister look in her eyes. Chapter 133, I choose my own way. You vile creature! What kind of look is that? Ning Yehua flew into a rage. Just as he was about to vent his temper, the door to the ward was opened from the inside. Ning Yehua and Zhuang Linyu immediately tossed Ning Xi to the back of their minds and hurriedly went up to the door. Su Yan, how's Swallow doing now? She's fine for now, you can go in to see her. Su Yan replied, looking tired. After that, he turned to look at Ning Xi, whose cheek was slightly swollen and red, with a heavy gaze. Zhuang Lingyu immediately threw herself by Ning Swallow's bedside and looked her up and down. Mummy's darling. How are you feeling? Does it hurt? Do you feel bad anywhere? Ning Swallow smiled weakly. Mum, I'm fine now. The doctor said that it's just a superficial wound. Zhuang Lingyu stroked her hair tenderly. You're a girl, and this wound is going to leave such a big scar. You're still saying that you'll be fine. If the sword had gone in just a little deeper, you wouldn't be alive now. That damn girl, how could she be so vicious? You even treat her as your older sister. Jija, she, Ning Swallow's expression dimmed down, but she bore with it and continued speaking. Dad, Mum, don't blame Jija. It's not her fault, something went wrong with the prop. Ning Yehua snorted coldly upon hearing so. Silly child, how could you be so silly? That prop was perfectly fine, how could something have gone wrong with it? After he finished speaking, he turned to the door and shouted at Ning Xi, who was standing there. Bastard, what are you still standing there for? Get in here and apologize to Swallow right now. Ning Xi's face held an indifferent expression like an impenetrable mask. There's nothing I have to apologize to her for. If you want to make me apologize, sure, show me the evidence. If you have evidence, then I can even give her my life as compensation. Ning Yehua's fingers shook as he pointed at her. You're still refusing to admit your mistake even now. I'm leaving you some dignity by not investigating this matter. You're not going to repent until you see your end is near, are you? Do you just have to embarrass me thoroughly before you're satisfied? So in Ning Yehua's eyes, it was his image that was the most important. Ning Xi sneered, if I really wanted to take revenge on her, you'd be seeing her corpse now. How would you still have the chance to act out a family drama here? Ning Yehua slammed the table with force. Stop running your mouth at me. Ning Xi, are you going to apologize or not? If you admit your wrongs and apologize, then retire from the entertainment industry, I can take it as if all of this never happened. If you want to have your way. Thank you, but I choose to have my own way. Ning Xi burst out into laughter and waved them goodbye, before turning to leave without looking back. Zhuang Lingyu's face was filled with disbelief. Look at how she's acting. I can't believe I gave birth to such a shameful thing. Ning Yehua was so angry he had to pace. What a vile creature. She's really angered me now. Ning Swallow anxiously persuaded, Dad, forget about it. I'm fine now, don't get angry at Jija, you'll hurt your body. I've already let her off once last time, and she actually did such a thing. She tried to harm you this time, who knows if she might try to kill you the next time. I can't just forget about this matter. But, Dad. All right, don't think about this matter anymore. I'll take care of it. That's right, let your dad handle it. Just focus on recovering. Your dad will give you a satisfactory result. Ning Swallow's eyes reddened and she looked as if she was holding back her resentment from being bullied. With a grateful expression, she said, Thanks Dad, thanks Mum. You don't have to do that, I'm fine. Su Yan, who had been silent since just now, patted her shoulder. Swallow, you're just too kind. Ning Xi went overboard this time. Uncle's right. We can't let her continue acting so freely. Chapter 134, A Nightgown and Flower Petals. When Ning Xi walked out of the hospital, it was already late in the night. There weren't any stars in the sky, and the moon wasn't shining. There were only a few cars and people out in the streets. She had to admit that while Ning Swallow's plan had been rather clumsy and unskillful, she had succeeded in the end. Ning Swallow was always using the things she cared the most about to attack her. Su Yan, for example, and her parents. Sometimes, she even started doubting herself, wondering if everything really was her fault. Was it because she was too terrible, too horrible to be endured, that they all hated her, disdained her, and abandoned her? Sometimes she even thought that there was no meaning in her efforts and struggles up till now. Even if she managed to achieve her goal someday and got everything she wanted, was there anyone in the world who would care about it? She was always alone. Ning Xi wandered around aimlessly by the street, lost in thought. She didn't notice that a plateless black car was sneakily following her from behind. When she walked to a place without any people around, two people quickly got down from the car. One of them covered her nose and mouth with a wet cloth, while the other tied her up with a rope. They pulled her into the car with force. The whole process took only 5 seconds. When Ning Xi finally reacted, she had already lost all her strength under the influence of the drugs. Her body had also been bound up tightly, so she couldn't struggle. A bitter smile spilled over from her pale lips. After getting framed, she had gotten kidnapped. This birthday was rather lively. The car drove on smoothly for very long. Ning Xi's eyes were covered with a black cloth. She couldn't tell where this car was driving to, and where these people had come from. Was it Ning Swaluo? It didn't seem like it. Ning Swaluo had already won a complete victory over her today, and there was no need to do anything more. Pub future ads. Then who was it? Who had she offended recently? 100 thoughts flitted through her head, but she had no answer. Suddenly, she heard a man speaking over a call next to her ear. Hello, CEO Zhu. Yes, we've done it. We're on the way. Right, please rest assured. We'll definitely send her over on time. This girl's quite pretty, even me and my brother are a little aroused. Ha ha ha, how could we dare to? We'll definitely send her over to you without laying a finger on her. Fright filled Ning Xi's heart. CEO Zhu? She abruptly recalled the incident where she had walked into the wrong room at the Grand Pearl Hotel last night. This CEO Zhu couldn't be Zhu Xiangcheng, right? He didn't give up and sent people to kidnap her after he wasn't able to get his way that day? The more Ning Xi thought about it, the more likely it seemed to be the case. She immediately cursed in a low tone. However, when she was trying to think of a way to escape, the drugs seemed to be taking effect. Her consciousness became even foggier, and she quickly slipped into darkness. When Ning Xi recovered a little bit of consciousness, she found that she was still blindfolded. The sound of two women speaking came from within the room. Her mind was still foggy and she couldn't tell what they were speaking about. She could only feel them stripping away all her clothes, and they proceeded to put on a thin nightgown on her. Following that, they seemed to have scattered something like flower petals on her body. The more Ning Xi thought about it, the more she felt that something wasn't right. With Zhu Xiangcheng's impatient personality, he wouldn't be so patient as to do all this for a woman. He would definitely have done her the moment she had been brought back. Right now, they had changed her clothes and even scattered flower petals. She could even smell that they had sprayed perfume on her. That fat pig! That old pervert! If he wanted to take her, then he should just do it. What the hell was he doing? Chapter 135, He prepared a woman. Zhu Xiangcheng had heard that there was a drinking party for business tonight, and that Lu Tingxiao would be there. He had rushed over early and even specially made some preparations. In the end, it was exactly as he expected. Lu Tingxiao rejected all his overtures. Lu Tingxiao hadn't even glanced at the priceless antique calligraphy scroll that he had bought through no easy means. He even brought a fresh and bright virgin girl and hinted at giving her to him, but his expression was the same as if he were looking at some vegetables. Just as he was getting anxious, the call he had been waiting for finally came. Hello, why are you only calling me now? Have you done it yet? Yes, we've done it. We're on the way. Hurry up. Bring that person over in 10 minutes. The room is 808, Don't get it wrong. Please rest assured. We'll definitely send her over on time. This girl's quite pretty, even me and my brother are a little aroused. If you dare to touch her, then don't even think about getting the rest of the money. I have uses for that woman. Not a single hair on her head must be missing. Not far away, Liu Tingxiao was sitting on a high chair. He looked at the time on his watch and adjusted his sleeves before standing up. From the looks of it, he was preparing to say his goodbyes and leave. At this moment, a man suddenly burst out of the pool with a toss of his hair, creating a refreshing splash of water. His tan skin looked healthy and alluring, and he had beautiful six-pack abs and a V-line that countless men would die for. The man raised his arrogant and handsome face, his dripping wet hand grabbed onto Liu Tingxiao's calf just as he was about to walk away. With an unhappy tone, he said, Hey, Liu Tingxiao, I was the one who called for this gathering today, can you give me some face? You're leaving after just half an hour? We're here for a drinking party and you didn't even have a sip of alcohol after coming here. We have fine wine and beauties here, can nothing make you stay a while longer? Let go. Liu Tingxiao frowned. He looked as if he was about to step on that man's hands in the next moment. At this moment, Liu Jingli walked over from behind, carrying a wineglass in his hands. He smiled and said, Tianji, haven't you seen that my bro's heart completely isn't even here tonight? Staying for half an hour is already giving you face. Mo Lingtian leaned on the pool's edge with a devil-may-care smile on his face, if his heart isn't here, then where is it? He doesn't have a woman. Liu Jingli looked like he was prepared to shock him as he snorted, who said that he doesn't? He'll have one soon. What? That's too much. Mo Lingtian was shocked, as expected. With a splash, he jumped out from the pool, his face full of betrayal and anger. Didn't we agree that we would be brothers for life? The one who first gets a girl is a dog. Liu Tingxiao cast a sideways glance at him expressionlessly, I don't remember ever agreeing to something so pointless. Liu Jingli couldn't help but spit out, Tianji, you've chosen to walk a solitary path so you can choose to flirt however you want, but my bro has a son. He has to find a mother for his child. Who's the woman? Mo Lingtian frowned as he asked. Liu Tingxiao looked at his watch again. His expression was already extremely impatient. He then strode outside quickly and completely ignored them. Damn! He actually ignored me. What happened to brothers before hoes? Mo Lingtian scolded from behind. Liu Tingxiao had left, so Liu Jingli followed behind. Compared to a boring drinking party, he wanted to see how his bro tried to pick up girls. He, bro, you're rushing back to celebrate sister-in-law's birthday, right? Do tell what surprises you've prepared for her. I'll help you judge them. Liu Jingli jabbered on as he followed behind Liu Tingxiao, when a fatty came charging out of nowhere. CEO Liu. Second young master. The newcomer was sweating like a pig. From the looks of it, he had come running after them. Liu Jingli raised an eyebrow, Yay, Chairman Zhu. What are you in such a hurry for? I'm looking for CEO Liu. Zhu Xiangcheng looked at Liu Tingxiao, face full of flattery. He used both hands to hand over a thin, gold room keycard, CEO Liu, this is a little gift from me, please accept it. It was clear that he had prepared a woman in the room for Liu Tingxiao. Chapter 136, could it be that the person inside was? Right now, Liu Tingxiao didn't feel like dealing with anyone. In order to avoid wasting his time tangling with Zhu Xiangcheng, he simply accepted the room key and continued taking long strides forward. When he saw Liu Tingxiao take the card, Zhu Xiangcheng was finally able to let out a breath of relief. However, he then worried about whether Liu Tingxiao would actually go to the room. Liu Jingli had a dubious expression as he followed behind, Whoa! Bro, you have pretty good luck with women. Zhu Xiangcheng must have gotten anxious after you weren't moved by all his bribes, and he must have pulled out all the stops to get you an exceptional woman. Bro, do you want her? Wait. You already have sister-in-law, so I'm sure you won't even spare her a glance. How about giving me the room keycard? Pretty please, pretty please? I'm actually really curious to see what sort of goddess Zhu Xiangcheng managed to find. Lu Tingxiao's fingertips flicked slightly and that room keycard flew directly towards Lu Jingli. Lu Jingli caught it accurately with just 2 fingers. Wearing an extremely happy expression, he said, "Then I'll be going now." Whoa, 808. It's actually a presidential suite. Holding the keycard, Lu Jingli hummed a song and walked cheerfully towards the guest rooms behind him. The elevator went directly to the top floor. With one hand in his pocket, Lu Jingli walked straight towards the last room in the hallway. When he reached the entrance, he swiped the keycard and the door opened with a beep. Before opening the door, Lu Jingli had an awkward thought. He had only come to check it out of curiosity. What if the woman inside fell for him and didn't let him leave? Even though he didn't believe in getting married, he was a proper person who only got involved in proper romantic relationships. With a kaka sound, the door was finally pushed open. After opening the door, the first thing he saw was the king-sized bed covered in red rose petals. A woman was lying in the middle of the bed. Although the petals partially obscured his vision, he could faintly make out an extremely see-through nightgown as well as a pair of long, white legs. That pair of legs alone was enough to make a man's imagination run wild. Sure enough, Zhu Xiangchen had really gone all out this time. While thinking, Lu Jingli continued to take another 2 steps inside. Then, he saw that woman's face. Even though her eyes were covered by a white strip of lace, he could still recognize who the woman on the bed was with a single glance. Whoa! Lu Jingli jumped back in fright as if he had seen a ferocious beast. His body collided against the door and made a loud noise. Immediately afterwards, he slammed the room door shut and ran crazily down the stairs like a burst of wind. He rushed like a madman all the way to the parking garage entrance, where he made it just in time to see Lu Tingxiao's car exiting. He quickly threw himself in front to stop Lu Tingxiao from leaving. After the car screeched to an ear-piercing stop, Lu Tingxiao was just barely able to stop his car. His expression was extremely ugly. Lu Jingli repeatedly knocked on the car window. Before Lu Tingxiao could open his mouth and start scolding him, Lu Jingli pulled him out of the car and spoke as if their house was on fire. "Bro, hurry up and come with me. What's going on? It's extremely urgent. It's an extremely urgent matter. You'll understand if you come with me. There's only one thing that matters to me right now. I know you just want to find sister-in-law right now, but this matter is related to sister-in-law." As a result, Lu Tingxiao followed him immediately. Just like this, the 2 people hastily rushed back to the presidential suite 808. Lu Tingxiao cast a glance at the door in front of him with a frosty expression. His eyes indicated that Lu Jingli had best explain why he had suddenly gone insane and dragged him here. Lu Jingli wiped his face and spoke in a low voice as he opened the electronic lock, "Go in and see for yourself." Upon hearing those words, Lu Tingxiao's complexion changed slightly. He had realized almost immediately, could it be that the person inside was? Chapter 137, About to go insane. In the next second, Lu Tingxiao reached out and quickly pushed open the door. After one glance, he stopped blankly where he stood. The air was quickly filled with a terrifyingly cold intent. The man's eyes shot towards the nearby Lu Jingli like daggers. "You looked." Lu Jingli was so frightened that he pressed up against the door and spoke feebly, "If I didn't look, how would I have known that she was sister-in-law? You're not going to get jealous about this too, are you? I can't even see anything with those clothes and flower petals covering her. Also, if I hadn't discovered her thanks to my curiosity, who knows what would have happened to her tonight? No matter how I look at this, my merits outweigh my wrongs. Aside from darling little treasure, where are you going to find a godly assistant as helpful as me? Lu Ting Xiao, get out. Yes sir. Thank you for your grace, my lord. After getting let off the hook this time, Lu Jingli escaped immediately. He knew that curiosity killed the cat, but he couldn't help himself. Even after dodging 1,000 bullets, he still couldn't fix this bad habit of his. After Lu Jingli fled, Lu Ting Xiao immediately entered the room and closed the door. When he was about 10 steps away from the bed, his head went blank. On the pure white bed with scarlet flower petals scattered about, with her china-like skin half concealed, the girl's eyelashes were trembling lightly underneath the lace. The single thin layer of fabric she had on was already covered in sweat and clinging tightly to her body. Her delicate little toes had curled up adorably due to her tension and alarm. This scene was like some sort of cruel test for Lu Ting Xiao, who had been patiently enduring for so long. He felt his throat dry up. His collar felt so tight he could barely even breathe. He extended a finger and loosened his tie roughly. Most likely because that action had made a sound, the girl on the bed was so frightened that her entire body started trembling. She tried to shift off the bed with small movements. However, it seemed like she had been drugged, she didn't have any strength at all. After using up all her energy, she had merely moved 2 centimeters. Exhausted, she gasped for breath as her chest rapidly rose and fell. The hair on her temples was dampened with sweat. That scene felt like a single drop of water splashing into scalding hot oil. As if he had been bewitched, Lu Ting Xiao seemed to be moving by someone else's will as he walked towards the bed, step by step, until he reached the bedside. The girl keenly sensed that there was a person by the bed. She bit down so hard that she nearly broke her lip and used even more energy in her struggle to leave. With an absent-minded expression, Lu Ting Xiao reached out to the girl. Pub future ads. Pub future ads. As he finally fulfilled his wish of touching the skin he had desired for so long, the burning temperature of her body seemed to travel through his finger and light him on fire. However, in the next second, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his finger. The girl had bitten down fiercely on his finger. Very quickly, bright red blood seeped out of his finger. When he saw the girl's dark red lips wrapped around his finger, even his pain had turned into pleasure. Lu Ting Xiao felt like he was about to go insane. The pain didn't clear his mind, but in an instant, the girl biting him suddenly lost her strength. The empty despair on her face hit him like a bucket of cold water, finally causing him to wake up. Damn it! What was he doing? He was fully aware of how scared she was right now. He was fully aware that every second she spent in the dark was torment and suffering. Lu Ting Xiao quickly reached out his hands to untie the strip of lace covering her eyes. The girl's eyelashes trembled violently. Then, her eyes slowly opened, as if this was a slow-motion replay of a beauty awakening after 1,000 years of deep sleep. Chapter 138, Lucky It's You. In the next second, the girl opened her eyes fully. In the instant that the man's figure was reflected in those hopeless yet clear eyes, the girl stared dazedly with a perplexed expression, before mistiness quickly gathered in her eyes. Large tears formed, flowing along the rims of her eyes, they appeared one after another, seemingly endless. Ning Xi, Lu Ting Xiao was in a complete panic because of the girl's tears. What's wrong? Are you hurting anywhere? I'm sorry I came late. Don't cry anymore. I'll send you to the hospital. You, don't cry anymore, okay? His heart was about to stop beating. Ning Xi's eyes were red while tears still rolled down her face. With some effort, she tried to raise her hands, but they fell halfway. Do you want to get up? Lu Ting Xiao immediately leaned over and helped to prop her up. Just as he was about to help her off the bed, her arms suddenly embraced his neck. Her head buried into his shoulders and her body trembled from her cries. Her tears quickly dampened his clothes, flowing along his neck. Lu Ting Xiao felt as though a knife was stabbing at his heart. He reached his large hands out to gently pet her as if she was a fragile piece of glass. Don't be scared. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Due to the extreme panic and fear, Ning Xi cried for at least 10 minutes before she stopped and started to hiccup. Lu Tingxiao patiently helped her to regain her breath, and because he was scared of alarming her, he stiffened his body and didn't dare to move. After a long while, Ning Xi finally calmed down and hoarsely spoke into his ear in an extremely weak and helpless tone he had never heard before, "Lucky it's you." She just said, "Lucky it's you." These 3 words strongly struck him and echoed in his heart. At some time, perhaps even she had not realized it yet, but his girl already trusted him that much. Ning Xi forced out a smile, stammering, "Lu Tingxiao, you don't know how horrible today was. Before I saw you, I was already starting to doubt life, and I almost gave up all hope in this world." Pub Future Ads. She had thought that she was infallible and she had thought that there was nothing more that could knock her off balance. However, when what happened that night 5 years ago was about to happen again, she could not help but fall apart. She had thought about it previously. Even if Zhu Xiangcheng wasn't intending to take her himself, he was most likely going to give her to someone else. Birds of a feather flock together. Someone who hung around Zhu Xiangcheng would definitely be an even more nauseating man. Right now, she was happy that she had guessed wrongly, but she had not expected that the person Zhu Xiangcheng wanted to curry favor with was actually Lu Tingxiao. Lu Tingxiao's eyes flashed with killing intent, but his tone was extremely gentle when he spoke up, "Sorry, I was the one who dragged you into this. I wanted to help you out that night, but it caused a misunderstanding with Zhu Xiangcheng. I didn't foresee that he would do this kind of thing. How could I blame you? You were trying to help me." Ning Xi suddenly realized she was still sprawled across his body and immediately tried to straighten up, saying awkwardly, "I'm sorry, I made your clothes dirty." The girl knelt there with a tear-stained face. After losing the layer of flower petals covering her, her thin clothes did nothing to protect her modesty. Lu Tingxiao coughed and directed his eyes elsewhere, "It's fine." Ning Xi tried to straighten her body but started to sway. Lu Tingxiao hurriedly supported her, "Are you all right? I'll send you to the hospital." Ning Xi flushed and shook her head, "With this type of drug, there's no cure even if we go to the hospital." "Oh, Lu Tingxiao, can I ask you for a favor?" Chapter 139, Emptiness is Form, Form is Emptiness. "What is it?" Lu Tingxiao subconsciously braced himself. "That strip of cloth that was covering my eyes. Could you help me put it on again?" Ning Xi asked in a low voice. Astonishment flashed briefly across Lu Tingxiao's face. "Why?" Ning Xi helplessly said, "Out of sight, out of mind." Even though Ning Xi's words were very cryptic, Lu Tingxiao immediately understood and coughed lightly before picking up the lace fabric strip that had been thrown to the ground. He then gently covered her eyes with it and tied it around her head again. The instant that Lu Tingxiao came closer, the fire inside Ning Xi unexpectedly flared up. She hurriedly chanted in her mind, "Emptiness is form, form is emptiness." It was only when he had backed away to a safe distance and her sight had been covered that the uproar inside her body slowly calmed down. If it had been someone as disgusting and vulgar as Zhu Xiangcheng who had come, then it would have been fine. However, it just had to be Lu Tingxiao. She had been drugged with an aphrodisiac, and Lu Tingxiao was basically a catalyst who could increase the effect of the medicine infinitely, creating a reaction that could take a person's life away. "Is it okay now?" Lu Tingxiao asked. Ning Xi nodded, "There's one more thing I need to ask of you. I have no strength left in my body at all, could you help me get to the bathroom? I'll be fine after I soak in a cold water bath. Wait for a bit, I'll help you fill up the tub." "Thank you." The distinct sound of the water splashing in the bathroom rang distinctly in the quiet room. Although she was as blind as before, this time, she felt a sense of ease and relief. After some time, the sound of the water stopped and footsteps could be heard. "Can you walk?" Lu Tingxiao asked. "I think I can, just support me for a second." Lu Tingxiao reached out his arms to support her and even thoughtfully maintained a distance between them, only his arms were in contact with her. When her body was finally submerged in the icy water, Ning Xi gave a comfortable sigh, "MMM." Lu Tingxiao's expression tensed up, "I'm leaving first. If you need anything, just call me. Don't soak for too long and be careful not to catch a cold." "Okay." Pub Future Ads. Lu Tingxiao turned and left. The back of his figure conveyed his urgency and a sense of escaping from a difficult situation. After leaving, Lu Tingxiao pulled open the room door, only to see a person crashing into the room because his support was gone. Lu Jingli climbed up and dusted off his rear while trying to peek into the room. He coughed once before saying, "Heh. I was only worried for you guys, only worried. I definitely wasn't being a busybody." Lu Tingxiao looked as if he had already been expecting him to be hiding by the door. With a cold tone, he spoke up, "Go to the car and bring me the documents." Lu Jingli gaped until his mouth formed an O shape. "Brother, are you sure? You can still look at documents in this kind of situation? Are you still a man?" Lu Tingxiao's eyes coldly swept over him, "Do I need to prove it to you?" No, no need. I'm going now. Immediately. His brother would definitely prove it to him via a specially manly and violent beating. After he brought the documents over, Lu Jingli heard the sound of the water from inside. He then sighed and bitterly said, "Why soak in a cold water bath? Why don't you just offer yourself up as the antidote? What a waste! This is such a waste. Lu Tingxiao, you can leave now." "Actually, I don't want to leave. Actually, I want to stay and accompany you every season," Lu Jingli sang while reluctantly disappearing. After returning to the room, Lu Tingxiao tried hard to ignore the faint silhouette behind the frosted bathroom door and forced himself to concentrate on the document in his hands. He was pretty efficient. In 30 minutes, he actually managed to finish reading 2 pages. It was at this moment that Ning Xi anxiously shouted from the bathroom, "Lu Tingxiao!